Welcome to the Maddalena archipelago in northern Sardinia, where we spent some of the most blissful days of the season. Quaint towns, rugged coastlines, cool fall weather, flat sea sailing, and wild islands. Come experience it all on board Magic Carpet. La Maddalena is the main island of the Maddalena archipelago, and although we've been in this region before, we were never able to get a spot in the harbor during high season. Now, in the gorgeous fall months, we got a spot right away. So I'm quite thrilled to go out and explore this little town. The harbor is lovely, and you sure can't beat 15 euros a night. That's so insane how the off-season prices drop. So yeah, we're gonna go for a stroll around, maybe have a gelato, and of course, take you with us. We started by strolling around the harbor. One little curiosity for all you viewers in the US and Canada. It turns out that Europe, most of Asia, Oceania, and parts of Africa actually keep red on port and green on starboard when entering a harbor, whereas in the Americas, the channel markings are reversed and keep red right returning. Although I grew up with the American system, I find the European one to make more sense because you line the colors of the channel markers up with the lights on your boat. Red to red and green to green. But I digress. Back to Maddalena. Like most towns in this area, this quaint fishing village holds behind it an entire history of dramas and stories dating back from pre-Roman times. Maddalena's strategic position between Sardinia and Corsica made it a popular military base, with famous visitors including Napoleon, Mussolini, and more recently a US submarine base. We actually hadn't been in a town for a while, since we'd been staying in more rugged anchorages, so it was a fun change of pace. We enjoyed gelato, and I bought some new sandals to replace my old ones, which had completely fallen apart. Hello! So we just came back from ice cream and wandering around town. The camera battery died halfway through, unfortunately, so we didn't get as much footage as I wanted to. But now Aladino is out flying the drone. It's a bit windy, so hopefully it all goes well. And I am going to make some dinner. The church bells are going off in the background. I don't know if you can hear. I'll be quiet for a second. Hopefully the mic picks them up. But the sun is setting. It's golden hour. If I look behind me, I don't think the camera will expose properly, but I'll show you some B-roll in a sec. But when I look out the hatch here, there's just a gorgeous Italian town, and there's boats, and there's French neighbors who are speaking loudly at the moment. And I'm feeling so happy to be here. The weather is perfect, the temperature is perfect, the town is perfect, the harbor is perfect. I'm so lucky and happy and just, yeah, I'm really excited. Oh, one other thing I'm so stoked about. So, one thing I have not been able to find anywhere in Italy, two things actually. Number one, peanut butter. Number two, coconut milk. Like the thick coconut milk you get in cans to make curry with. And I love curry. It's like my number one comfort food. I absolutely adore it. And I often make peanut curry. So I don't have coconut milk, I don't have peanut butter. It makes it hard to make peanut curry. But Aladino went to a grocery store today, big grocery store, and he found both those items. I'm so excited, so I'm going to make peanut curry.
Good morning everybody, day 3 has started. We are still in the harbor of Maddalena, and it's been blowing outside. There's 30 to 40 knots, and we have decided to stay one more day. The only little problem is that we have promised our friend Luca that is coming today that we would pick him up in Palau. And since we're not in Palau, I will hop on a ferry. It's a 5-minute ferry ride, and I'm gonna go get him in Palau over there on the other side. But the boat is staying in Maddalena. Maya stays on the boat, she's editing a bit, and I go pick up our friend. But it's been super windy outside. it's pretty exciting.
It's crazy because we're really protected here behind all of these islands, so there's not a lot of room for swell to build, so there's not really swell out there. But there's just crazy whitecaps, and it looks, I mean, I'm sure you've seen similar things before, but it just looks funny when the sea is kind of flat, but there's all these white caps on it, and it's really blowing.
Yeah, that is because of the winds are really strong. And that's something why I fell in love with this area too when I initially came sailing, because often you have flat seas, but you have windy very often. Yeah. Which is amazing to sail. And then you have all those beautiful anchorages.
This is a bit more than I would want to sail with if I don't have to.
Yeah.
It's like 40 knots and it's very gusty. It's very gusty.
Nice! You made it! You got what? Here we go! The incredible winds have died down and we're getting ready to head out. I have picked up Luca. He is on board with us now. The plan is to go to one of the beautiful anchorages around this area. I am not able to say goodbye to Sardinia yet, because also there was a really good window to do a crossing straight from here back to France. But as I said, we're in no big rush yet, and I'd really still love to hang out around here. So we decided we go to a nice anchorage, and then as time goes on, we will cruise up the coast of Corsica and then have a shorter crossing on the next window, which will come up. All right, everybody got sunscreen on and ready to go? Last preparation before heading off. We might not go to land before the crossing, so you better top off your fuel just in case. 168. Fuel prices don't diminish with season, unfortunately.
Such a good feeling. We have full water tanks, full diesel, and full food. So we are all prepared to go for as long as we like.
After consulting the map for a little bit, we came up with a plan, and we think it's a good plan, obviously. We are going to Cecca dei Morti first, which is in between three beautiful islands. Very sandy, very beautiful, you'll see in a minute. And basically we stop there for lunch, but then we take up anchor again and we go to a next anchorage, so to maximize sightseeing, and then we will sleep in another anchorage. That's the plan for now.
We continued along towards Cecca, and I made some lunch along the way.
Why?
The Italians have scammed us.
Oh no!
I wanted a bread and I got a bubble. But a little bit of olive oil and pesto will still make for a tasty sandwich.
Okay.
Alright, here's a little appetizer of pesto flavored air.
This is a scam!
That's so funny. We shortly arrived to Cecca dei Morti and grabbed a mooring ball. Then we headed off in the dinghy for some exploration. Oh, Sardinia, this place is really one of a kind. Alright, so after exploring the beach here a little bit, we're going to head over just a 5-minute motor to Isola Razzoli, which is just right over there. And if you've been following our channel, you might remember Isola Razzoli. It's where Mitchell and I played some music on the rocks there. It's a very cool place, but it's worth seeing for a second time. We're going to show it to Luca and of course bring you guys along.
My hometown. No, my home waters.
How does that feel, Deanie?
So cold.
Oh, baby cake.
Right now?
No, not yet.
To get warmer?
I wish I could.
Do not pee in my wetsuit.
I wish I could. Oh, Sardinia in October, the water is really chilly.
Alright, enjoy.
Thank you.
I'm gonna stay here, play some music. They're both shivering like absolute leaves. I heard them coming by the sounds they were making. But was it nice, Deanie?
Yeah, a little too cold to really enjoy it.
Oh,
it
no.
was very short. We were like about a half an hour.
Yeah.
But kind of cool.
Arctic temperatures.
This coming from two Swiss folks. Dear goodness.
Yeah, that's how Swiss we are.
Once the boys warmed up, we took the dinghy to shore to send up the drone and check out a decommissioned lighthouse. What's the plan, Deanie?
Well, do you want to go to the lighthouse? Because I really prefer droning. But if
Yeah,
that's
you
okay
drone
with you, I
because
drone
there's not much light left.
Exactly.
Yeah, and we go to the
Yeah.
lighthouse.
Alright. I
Alright.
see you or in the lighthouse or back here.
Okay, sounds good. The lighthouse was as picturesque yet creepy as ever. For a full tour, check out our episode 36. But the sun was setting quickly and we were eager to get back and see how Aladino was doing with the drone. Here's the thing, when I'm editing videos, my first priority is always to tell a good story. Camera work has never been my #1 priority. Our entire first season was done with just an old iPhone and a GoPro. But now that we're getting better camera gear and we're learning how to use it, wow. I just want to play every single one of these drone clips for you because they are so stunning. Just look at that water, look at that light, look at the rock formations and our little boat and the islands all around us. It's just magic. Aladino was having a lot of fun capturing the magic of the moment as well. So much fun, in fact, that I had to remind him to put down the camera and come enjoy it. Jetzt. Ich mochte du jetzt.
Okay.
The next morning I went for a swim. The water was quite cold, but it was too beautiful to say no.
It is time again to leave this paradise, but I'm not sad yet because we're going to another one. Actually, these two places, the one we're at now, Isola di Razzoli, this specific anchorage, and the next island we're going to, Lavezzi, are two of my favorite places in the world. So that's actually the plan. We're heading over to Lavezzi. We'll see if it's just an excursion and a lunch break, and if we continue or if we will stay overnight. We will see about that in a bit. Behind me, Isola di Razzoli is the last one belonging to Italy, and going into that direction, I don't know if you can see it, but that is Corsica. And in between also there is another pile of rocks, and that's the island of Lavezzi, belonging to France now. That's where we're headed. Something pretty funny happened right now. We are sailing slowly just under Genoa, but we just had lunch break. Maya made some pasta, and while we were eating I let go of the tiller, and I didn't have to correct it actually for quite a while, so we were pretty surprised how well balanced it is now. Maybe it's also a mix of dragging the dinghy, we don't know. But it was so cool. Just let go of the tiller for like 5 minutes or longer, and it just corrected itself all the time. It went up, it went down again. We're almost here now. That's Lavezzi. We're just about to go into the anchorage. It's a bit tricky, there's a lot of rocks. I'll maybe go to the bow, we'll furl in the sail soon and do it under engine. It's just a bunch of rocks, isn't it? I get so enthusiastic about this place. It looks like a bunch of rocks in the water, and actually being one of my favorite places, it must have a few secrets to it. And come along with us on the island as we go discover them.
And so, after the anchor hit ground, we headed to shore to explore what is allegedly Aladino's favorite island from this entire area. And I'm sorry to end on such a cliffhanger, but to see more about Lavezzi, you'll just have to wait for the next episode. As always, a giant thank you to our patrons, without whom none of you would be watching these videos. The patrons have made it possible to own all of this equipment that we are filming these episodes on, and to keep sailing and keep collecting and telling stories every single week for you. And an extra big thank you to these folks who really go the extra mile to make sure these episodes keep being produced. We'll see you all next week.